Well, since we're all here, I want to just say thank you, everybody, for coming in today. My name is Frank Socorro, and we are here today to speak with the lovely Eki Shola. Eki's has a vibrant career in music and medicine, and she's going to be here to can be described best by the artist herself. She says that I create music not only for myself, but to generate a space for the listener. That music is healing, and I fumbled that a little bit for you, Eki. I apologize,
No, it's
but
all good.
I think the overall message is there that music is healing, and you're gonna share some of that information with us. So I'm going to pass it along to you and let you take it away.
Thank you so much. I have to first preface that I always wanted a lava lamp, and I see one in your background. I think I'm going to treat myself because this is like 20, 30 years now. I've always
Do
wanted
it.
one.
Do it. Somebody gave me that one, and I was like, "What?" And then I put it there, and now everybody's like, "Oh, it's so cool," and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay."
man, hold on to it. So yeah, it's good to be back. Thanks for having me, Music Expo. I remember it wasn't that long ago when I was an attendee at Music Expo. My background is internal medicine, and I switched over from mainly practicing medicine to mostly doing music a few years ago. And it was a tough decision, but it was around 2018 after the 2017 wildfires in Sonoma County, and after losing my music studio, losing the clinic that I had worked at, I decided to just go for music full on. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm loving. But I'm realizing that they're still intertwined, music and medicine. There is definitely a healing aspect to both, and that's what I'd love to talk to you all about today. So I don't know about you, but I hear a lot about sort of this. Actually, I just had a review on an album, and there was sort of this introduction to artists and how we create from sort of this tortured mindset. And I want to talk about it for a little bit. I mean, there is some truth to that. I think, our experiences, whether they be, heavy, negative, positive, certainly influence the way we create. But I also don't think that is a prerequisite to create music either. And so there is a relationship between creativity and wellness in the way that I see it. So I'll backtrack. Post wildfires, I remember, I lost everything, all my instruments, everything like that. And it was, we spent 5 weeks in different hotels. And I remember I was just dying, itching to create music. And I was given donations and whatnot, but I didn't have anywhere to put them. So I just started out with getting a replacement laptop and just started writing that way. And that was sort of the first segue, really, in terms of this healing aspect for myself, kind of writing my own medicine, if you will, to help me cope with the loss. And after that moment, then it was sort of a shift for me to writing these really sort of melodic songs that were very kind of chill out, calming, and just really kind of you know like a cocoon, really, just wanting to feel safe. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And I remember just really feeling this deep want, deep desire to go home, wherever that was. I didn't have a home anymore, but it was just this wanting to feel safe and secure. And I really realized musically those emotions were coming through the music. And then after that period, it was like, okay, this rebirth, this renewal is like, now what? What can I do about my situation? Um, how can I advocate for others? How can I help others? And that's when I started to kind of reach within and started to write more lyrics. And I'm more of an instrumentalist. And so I found that period to be also sort of very different for me, using my voice as a tool, as an instrument. And so for each of those three periods, I actually wrote an album. That wasn't really the intention at the beginning, but it ended up, just made sense. I had all these songs, and I realized for those three albums, which were part of a trilogy, that they each were defined and created and melded by what I was going through. And so for me, that's how music really became sort of this self healing. And I realized sort of the beauty of music is, I mean, back then, I guess it's not that long ago, but back then when we were performing, when a lot of us were performing live, it was great to be able to play and perform. And then someone would come up and they would explain how they felt, and it was like literally the same way I was feeling when I had written that piece. And this is an instrumental piece. It was not even sort of those lyrics to kind of connect with. And I realized, wow, there really is this interplay between wellness, mindfulness, health, and music. So I'd like to go back just to the basics. We've all, been through a lot with COVID, with the elections, with a lot to deal with. And so I just want to briefly kind of go over a few things, few basic things that we can hopefully remind ourselves to do. First of all, is sleep. You know, are you getting enough sleep? Is it restful sleep? How many every the amount of hours that one needs varies. Some people may need 10 hours to feel rested and some may need 4. But trying to get that right amount of sleep that you can, and quality wise, is important. For me, I don't know why, but I just started recently sleeping on the floor a few months ago, and I feel like I've never had such restful sleep before. I don't know if it's just being on the ground or being grounded or whatnot, but even so changing your position, changing where you sleep, can make a difference. Another thing is movement. How much exercise are you getting? It could be, well, I guess it depends on where we are. We're all across the country and maybe even globally. So whether you have access to a gym or not may be a factor. But there are so many videos online. Um, so many, you don't need the greatest and best equipment to work out. So see what you can do and try to get yourself moving. Go for a walk, go for a jog. If you got kids or pets, go chase them around. There's ways to incorporate fitness, if you can, into your lifestyle. And then on the opposite side of that is, are you keeping still? Are you having moments where you can pause and just be silent for a bit? That's just as important, I believe, as movement. And before the fire, excuse me, right after the fires in 2018, I was part of a cohort where I trained in this meditation mindfulness program. And the goal was for us to go out into the community and to teach others of these skills that we had learned. But then COVID started and that got put aside. Fast forward to um, just a few months ago, Sonoma County, again underwent more wildfires. And this has been sort of a yearly occurrence for the last several years now, just because of climate change and all that's been going on. And so I found myself once again waking up on a Sunday night, and having to pack and having to evacuate, which was crazy. But probably a blessing, because the first time around in 2017, we didn't even have any evacuation notice, and we ended up driving through the flames. So this time around, we had some time to get our things together and to hit the road. But by the time we were on the road, there's only one main road out to the highway. It was so jam packed, it took about 50 minutes to traverse, zero point 0.1 mile. And I remember being stuck on that road and looking at the side mirror and seeing these gigantic flames behind us progressing closer and closer to the cars. And I flipped. I mean, I just started to hyperventilate and I was panicking. I was like, there's no way to go. And then I said, wait a minute. I remember I learned a skill, a mindfulness skill, in that program, the training program that I had underwent with about 90 other people. And I sat there and I did it. And I'm going to love to share it with you. It takes 30 seconds, but it's called soft belly breathing. And essentially, I was like, okay, what's soft belly? I mean, I got a soft belly. I mean, what does that mean? It means gentle, gentle belly. So really relaxing yourself. But what it consists of is just taking some deep breaths. So you're breathing in through your nose and your belly's expanding, and you're breathing out as your belly contracts. And if you do those 10, start with 10, you start to you will start to calm down. And physiologically, why that works, deep breathing, is that when you take a deep breath, when you deep breathe, you innervate a nerve called the vagus nerve. And when that nerve is stimulated, it reduces your heart rate and it reduces your blood pressure and it calms you down. So there is scientific, reasonings as to why these measures work. And so I remembered to do it in the car while we were stuck on the way out of evacuating. And I did it for maybe half a minute. And it was just like from here, panic attack to just back down to baseline. And I said to myself, I got this. And I was like, holy moly, like, this tactic is within me. I have control over my body. So I encourage you, if you haven't tried it, just try soft belly breathing and make a practice of it every day if you can. So that's something that has helped. The other thing, in terms of basics, back to basics, is nutrition. So I remember the last time I spoke at the summit, I spoke about nutrition and I remember clicking off and feeling a little hypocritical because, to be honest, I wasn't really practicing what I was advocating in that talk. And I was talking about eating healthy and whatnot. And I joked about how, and it was true, I'd be exercising and pulling out a pan of cookies from the oven, in between the breaks. No comment. But I realized, for me, starting on this music journey again has been relatively new, 4 years, and I'm still learning. But for me, nothing beats that moment of flow. Whether you're on stage performing or you're at home creating, and you lose track of time, right? You just feel like you're on a natural high and you're floating, and you could be there forever. Sometimes you forget to eat, whatever, but it's this beautiful flow, and it's a wonderful feeling. But I would realize to myself, okay, how can I achieve this flow outside of the music arena? Like, what else can I do, right? How can I make it fully encompassing part of my life? Not to say that I'm going to be in flow 24/7, but I didn't want it to be just limited to music. And I started to realize how there was a connectivity between music, the arts, sleep, health, nutrition. And the only reason why came through that is by doing a challenge, a nutrition challenge that I saw on Twitter's 10,000 Black women vegan challenge to try to be vegan for 21 days. I love meat, so I was like, but I was like, oh, maybe I'll try it. And I'm not advocating for everyone to be vegan, but I'm saying just trying something different, and seeing how it feels can make a difference. And I'm still doing it, and I've noticed just this huge shift of more sort of more encompassing flow, and that in of itself has also helped with the music, I feel. So again, try new things with your diet, with your sleep, with your movement, with mindfulness, and see how it makes you feel. So that's another suggestion. I heard a little tinkle bell somewhere. Is that a message for
Well,
me, or
we have somebody asked a question, in the chat,
please? I would love.
Bobby asked
Yes.
he said, "Every few months, I take on too much and I sleep less, which leads to
Yeah.
several other unhealthy habits. Any suggestions
Right.
for holding oneself accountable and maintaining healthy routines and habits?"
Wow, that's a great question. Um, that's a great question. I think, I mean, in terms of accountability, I know for me personally, um, I'm sort of a very individualistic person and I don't like checking in with others, but I noticed that I've joined an online exercise class. So it's pre recorded videos that you can pull up on YouTube or through their app, which is great. And so they also have online community through, Instagram, Facebook, and also this vegan challenge that I was telling you about. Again, it's been all online. We printed out the recipes, and then there's a huge Facebook group. And I'm not on these groups a whole lot, but there's something about knowing that you're in it together. There's something about it that is super helpful. And if I ever have a question or a concern, and I'll pop it up in these group chats and people respond. And it's just nice. I mean, I don't know who they are, they don't know me, but it's great. You get a word of encouragement, and we boost one another, and we say keep at it and keep going. And so I'm realizing accountability doesn't have to just land on you. Spread it out, whether it's joining a challenge or doing something with a friend or strangers online. There's something about sort of that group support that can be really, really encouraging. And also, like you said, even just noticing that how your sleep has been affecting or having sort of a ripple effect on other aspects of your life is also a great acknowledgement and realization, because you can't change anything if you're not aware of it. So the fact that you're aware of that is a great first step. So thanks for the question.
That was fantastic. We have a few minutes left. Does anybody else
Yeah,
have any other questions? Um, so we would like to ask Eki here while we have her. Some great info so far, and
yeah,
I think that sometimes not being super hardcore into some of those groups, but just having a little bit of accountability from somebody else, or just somebody going,
exactly.
"Hey, how's it working for
Right,
you?"
right, exactly.
Mm,
And of course, there's other support out there, professional support. Right now, I mean, when a big thing is that there's a lack of primary care physicians in this country, and there's also inadequate amount of mental health professionals, psychiatrists, therapists, particularly in our area in Sonoma County. Very long wait times if you can find someone who's open. And so, sort of one of the pluses of COVID is that a lot of medical care, psychiatric care, mental health care has transitioned to telemedicine. So it has, I think, opened a lot more opportunities to be able to see a therapist, social worker, psychiatrist if need be. And now a lot of health insurance plans are indeed covering that, and can be actually more financially affordable. And there are other options too for those who may not have health insurance. If you go through your state Department of Health, you can find resources there, or there are what you call federally funded clinics. So clinics for the uninsured or underinsured, and typically, sometimes you may even find that they have more resources available compared to private sector companies, and that's usually due to governmental funding. But that's another way to go. Also, if you are a member of ASCAP, don't know if you're aware, but they do, I believe, still have a program where they are offering free counseling for their members. I don't know if the other PROs like BMI are doing such. So,
I
yeah,
think
there's
some
a
of them
lot of
are,
resources out there.
and
Are
also
they?
NARIS. If you're a member of NARIS, they have
Ah,
the whole
okay.
music cares thing. So,
Yeah.
I want to say that some of the people, they have some amazing questions, and we're
Yes.
almost out of time for Eki's
Ah,
portion,
okay.
but you guys can head over to the Slack channel. So
Yeah.
the website is the home base. You guys can go there. There's a bunch of links for all the different things. You guys can sign onto the Slack channel. There's a Q&A section just there for you guys, and you guys
Mhm.
can drop extra questions. And if Eki would join us over on the Slack channel, and you can kind of keep
Definitely.
talking to her. So much great information.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was
You're welcome.
amazing.
You're
Your journey
welcome.
is fantastic, and the fact that you still have this amazing energy, I think
Yeah.
is incredible, incredible. So,
Thank you.
let's give her some virtual snaps, some virtual claps, some virtual number ones for
Thank
Eki for
you.
putting together this amazing chat. And stay tuned because we have another chat coming right up after this. Um, if you don't guys know where to go, please head over to musicexpo.co. That's where you're going to have all the links for today's events. We have some really cool giveaways. We have some really cool sponsors. We have giveaways from Leapwing Audio. Odyssey is going to be raffling off some amazing headphones. IK Multimedia will be giving away a Total Studio 2 Max with the actual value of $900. So those of you who are,
Nice.
recording and mixing your own stuff, and they will be giving away the Ike Multimedia Mix box as well, which is another new product from them. Sonarworks would be giving away a headphone edition, which I'm actually rocking right now, letting me
Ooh,
hear studio quality audio on my headphones. And then they will also be giving away a studio edition, which will allow you to calibrate some speakers and your setup. So please, guys, go over to the website. Set the links are all there for all the conversations we're going to be having today. Go to Music Expo SF for on Twitter, Instagram. And yeah, so we're going to start our next one more time. Thank you, Eki. This was
thank
amazing and
you.
super useful. And
My pleasure.
I'm soft belly breathing right now. Um,
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, and everybody. Stay tuned for the next one we have coming up. We have Jai Joseph, and they're going to be talking about the secrets of successful songwriting. So I'll see you guys over there.